Can you believe it, my friend Rick? It is week 12 of the CFL season. Can you believe that? It's week 12 and we're coming off truly what was a chaotic weekend. You had Thursday night you had the BC Lions looking back on track. Friday night you had the Red Blacks red blacking. Saturday
Yeah.
you had the Argos getting their doors blown in, and then Saturday
Yep.
night one of the biggest upsets of the year as an 8.5 point underdog, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Trey Ford winning the game
You know,
outright.
you know what the funny thing about that is?
Absolutely, shoot, my friend.
So, all Dutch Pick'em, all the CFL Dutch Pick'em people never gave us a shot. I'm in a Pick'em league with like 17, 18 other people. I was the only team that picked my team. Like, I'm a diehard. Like, I don't care who we're playing. We could be like Ottawa's like 0-9, and I would still pick my team.
Yeah.
Like, I die on that field for this team, and I was the only one that got them right. So,
Hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Last week, my picks, I had two ends of the spectrum. I picked BC as an underdog, and they won the game outright. But then
yeah.
I thought Sask was basically. I was just like, you know what? They did it once. They're going to do it again. But I think we're kind of reminded with the Rough Riders that for as good as they can be, when they have their off days, they're really off.
So my whole thing with that Saturday game was I was telling people, I'm like, you know what? Okay, they're out without John Schaefer Baker at
Yeah.
MLS. I'm like, you shut Keyshawn Johnson down, they're done. They have no run game. What else do they have left?
The only thing is though that, and you know what, you can call it a gift interception if you want. The Stavs interception off the
Yes.
hand, and I believe it was Duncan Busby from the Riders,
Yeah,
but
I think so.
that was one of those things though where it was just like, you know what, people can call it. I've heard it called it was a gift of an interception, but those gifts you have to take advantage and capitalize on. And I feel like as the season's gone on, two defenses have really started to. I don't want to say establish a footprint, but they've just been getting better and better. And that's one is BC,
Yeah.
the other is you guys, where it's just week in and week out, we've seen improvements from the defenses to where, and I said this last week too. I still feel like there's 9 teams in this league, and you can really make an excuse for 8 of them to get into the playoffs. Even though this year, out of the 8 teams that have a chance, 2 are going to miss on top of the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Yeah,
You know,
and you know what? I'm just you know what? Everyone has us written off because Bo's not there, and it's like, you guys know what? Keep it up because it just puts more fuel into our team.
I think it's just too with Hamilton because, like, look, if you look at their schedule coming up, they
Yeah.
have, I believe they're one of only a couple teams left to have not had their second bye week of the year. I know Calgary's on the bye this week, and then Edmonton next week, and then Ottawa, which I believe after that that'll be Ottawa's third bye week of the season is Labor Day.
Yeah. We
But
did, we our next one's week 15,
yes, you guys have
and then
you have the
it's
quadruple header bye week
yeah, and then we have
20.
yeah, so
The
it will
thing,
be interesting.
although, like with looking at your schedule though, it's rather lined up nicely right now to where the next 3 games you have 2 against the Argonauts, which
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this: if Toronto doesn't take 2 or 3, Toronto's. I'm not saying they're playing with their backs against the wall, but they're in a tough pickle where you're essentially playing playoff football from basically the middle of September to the end of October. To
Toronto
where
is
no, yeah, if Toronto, because like look, if you like look at the stand, I'm gonna go to the
no, I
standings
just
line.
wasn't sure who you're talking about, Toronto or Hamilton.
No, because think about it. If after so they each play 3 games. Let's just say for fun,
Yeah, yeah.
they split these 2
Yeah.
games.
So then
They
it comes down
they
to Labor Day.
so they say they win. Toronto wins Saturday. Let's just throw the hypothetical out.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna cross that bridge when the gents ticker comes up.
Yeah.
But say if Toronto wins on Saturday,
Hmm.
but loses in Regina next week, they're
Yeah.
at 5-6.
Okay.
But then say if you guys lose this week, but then go to Calgary and win, you're 5-7 with still 2 bye weeks in hand. But then
Yeah.
if Hamilton wins, at that point, then it's 6-7 versus. At that point, it would be 5-6. You guys essentially, because of that tiebreaker, it can come down to, hey, either Toronto misses because of the crossover, or Toronto having to go back to Hamilton for a third time, four if you want to count the preseason, on Halloween afternoon. So
Okay,
there's
I see what you mean.
that's what I mean. That's why I feel like these games are important for that sole purpose
You
for
know
either
what though?
what.
Now that I'm looking at Toronto's schedule and our schedule, I'm not gonna lie, Hamilton has the better schedule.
Yeah, because I know it's so. Whose schedule do you
So
have up right now?
okay, so I have Toronto's up right now.
Okay, you pull up Toronto's, I'll pull up Hamilton. We're playing a little reverse. Anything can happen Tuesday here.
Okay, so while you pull that up, you
I have
guys
Hamilton's,
have
but I'll let you go first.
yeah. So you have Hamilton, Sask,
Yes.
Hamilton, Ottawa, Edmonton, Winnipeg, BC, Ottawa, Montreal.
Their only saving graces is that there's a very good chance by then they're playing Dustin Crum in that last
Yeah,
regular season.
well, yeah, because I mean by week 14 they can have clinched.
Yeah, but
division.
that Montreal game is week 21 to where that's why I'm saying it. I really
Oh yeah,
think
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why
I
I'm
see what
saying
you're
it. I think if
Mhm.
Montreal has everything clinched by then, I can still see Tyson Philpott playing if he's chasing history, but you have to figure Dustin Crum more than likely at this point, August the
Mhm.
18th. I feel very comfortable saying Dustin Crum is probably going to start that October 23rd game at BMO Field because for all we know, Toronto's in that game. That's a win and get in for Toronto. For all we know, that's
for
what.
that last game.
Yeah, that's a very much a win and get in for Toronto because yeah, but so here's the thing with Toronto too. Their last two games are easy in the sense of you go to Ottawa, who by then is just probably just trying to hey, let's get to the finish line safe and
Yeah.
just safe and unhealthy and healthy, excuse me. But for Toronto though, the stretch that concerns me the most though is so they obviously have Sask and then Hamilton twice. But it's that after Ottawa where they have to play Edmonton at home, they
Okay.
have to go to
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, and then they have BC coming in. I know
hmm
BC has struggled against Toronto, weirdly enough. I don't think Nathan Rourke's ever won a game at BMO Field. You can correct me on that, but I'm like near
Not that I
positive.
know of.
I'm pretty sure it's either he's only won one or he's never won at BMO Field.
hmm
That could be a game, though, where BC's looking at revenge because the BC team that Toronto saw a few weeks ago is not going to be the same BC team that they see on that
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon in October. So I really think that stretch right there can make or break Toronto. It's just with the Argonauts right now. Look, the Calgary game, it was ugly, but they found a way. This was just a game where it's kind of like I think they can be a playoff team. I just can't comfortably say yes.
So
This is a team that's going to be in Calgary. I just don't think I
okay.
can say that at the moment.
So my question is, since you
Yes.
know more of the Toronto team than I do, after reading Ben Grant's tweet today,
Yes.
my Mackay Polk's already going to be heading to the sixth game. How many of those people that got injured on Saturday are
hmm
joining him on the IR list? Would you? I'm not saying names. I'm just saying how many do you think?
So Ryan Hunter's a concern just because he had the injury going into last week and the fact he's a
Fair enough.
DNP straight up, that's a concerning factor. I know Ben Grant tweeted it out, but I also get those emails from the Argonauts. So
Oh,
yeah, so just so everyone at home knows, Deshaun Amos limited, Desmond
yeah.
Bland, Bubba Bolden, Benji Franklin, all limited. Louis Philippe Gauthier, Achilles, usually that he's probably on the sixth game and done for the year.
Okay.
Um, John Haggerty, limited with a hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
Brian
Hermiala.
Hermiala, limited with a hamstring as well. You have Hunter with a knee DNP. You have Kongbo with a foot DNP. I don't think Kongbo is going to play Saturday if I had to guess right now. Obviously, it's only
Okay.
Tuesday. We'll
Yeah,
know
yeah,
probably
yeah.
by Thursday who's in and who's out. With a full depth
I'm
chart Friday morning. Paris Shand as well with an oblique. You have Mackay Polk with a foot. Like I said, Mackay Polk probably heading either maybe to the one game, maybe to the sixth game at this point. Who knows?
yeah.
But
I'm just thinking like long term for you guys.
yeah,
Like, do
because
you see many people?
I don't know about many. If I had to look on this list, I would
Maybe
the
like 3 or 4. Like, I'm not
yes.
even saying on 6 game. I'm just saying like even one game.
I think there's at least from this list besides Polk, I think at least two people aren't going to be
Oh,
playing
okay, fair
Saturday.
enough.
I think a minimum of two won't be in the lineup. I do think Hunter they are going to take it one time like one at a time. I think with him as well, it's how do I say this the best way? he's a veteran player who's dealing with a knee. It's that time of the year where people are just hurt, so they're probably really going to take him easy in practice, and then, you know what, use any extended rest for this. Or if they feel like he can't go, you sit him for a week because you need him for the stretch run at the end of the season. So with Hamilton, when I pulled up their schedule, apart from still having to have 2 bye weeks, I just love the symmetry of your schedule, how it's literally the Argonauts twice, the Alouettes, then the Elks twice, and the Red Blacks twice. It's very fun to look at, but Hamilton's in a position to succeed because, look, you still have Ottawa twice.
Yeah.
That
Edmonton, I would say maybe 0-2, 1-1 at most.
I think they split. It's just that Montreal game. They have to find a way to steal that game.
You know what? Even that Montreal game, I'm okay if we drop an L to them on that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, next week, Calgary, they're not going to have Vernon Adams and they're not going to have Mills.
Yeah.
And with what I've seen from Love, I don't have faith in Love. Not to go down the stretch.
He's good in garbage time and stuff like that, but he's not good. He's okay in garbage time. We don't know if Love yet if he's a capable starter in this league. That's the big thing with me. But no, ultimately with Hamilton, it's just, you know what, like, it's not so much more than stealing games they have to be thinking about. It's more, you can't afford to have those down, like, you know, kind of a performance of a game where, hey, you're supposed to win and you lose. Kind of like how, for example, with Calgary next weekend, with those Red Black games, those are the games where it's like, if you drop those, it's really going to come down to, I just have a feeling one of those 3 games, Ottawa's going to want to play spoiler either against Toronto or Hamilton, to where it's just like, yeah, our season's done, but we kind of want to ruin your season.
I will put it this way.
Yes.
I don't care if we lose to Ottawa. I just don't want to be the team to lose to Ottawa. As long as we're not the first team, I'm okay. I just don't want to be the first team.
Oh, I completely understand that. I was just throwing that out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because even too, like, when I look ahead to like this week, for example, you have, so Calgary's on bye week this week too, so that might be the thing as well, where they potentially get with maybe they get maybe Adams plays next week. Who knows how they are off the bye, but you have 4 really good games this week, and like, we'll get into predictions in a little bit. That Friday night game is that Friday and the Sunday games are probably the most intriguing for a storyline, because for the Friday night one with the Bombers and the Elks, I think it's more, can Winnipeg go into Edmonton and get one after Edmonton's now riding their high horse after how they played on Saturday. But then that Sunday game is interesting too, because it's, hey, is BC for real, or is Sask, you know, it was last week for Sask just a blip on the screen? And then obviously Thursday night, we'll see what happens. And then Saturday night, folks, if you haven't got your tickets, I think you should step on up with that. Argonauts.ca.
And you get to go into CNE too.
You get the CNE for free.
Some weird food on top of it.
I haven't seen it. I think so. I'm gonna pull up the weather too for Saturday, Toronto. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, during the day it's a little maybe some rain. Maybe some rain in the afternoon, but once the night comes around, it's looking better. So it's one of those things, you know, where it's like, hey, you know what? I'll be honest with you, I have a group of like 10 friends plus, like, I think my parents are going to the game, and like a few of their friends. Like, it's because everyone goes to the CNE. They all want to go to the CNE every year, and now it's like, you know what? Hey, let's go to the CNE, but also let's go to the Argos game. Yeah, like it's my. Like for this game, for example, my wife, it's her annual Toronto Argonaut game. Every year since I've been on the beat, she has gone, the one game a year she'll go to is the CNE game, because usually we'll go beforehand, she'll go watch with friends, I'll do my thing, and then I'll meet up with her after the game, get an ice cream waffle, and then go home.
Yeah.
That's my CNE tradition for the last 3 seasons, and I'm going to continue that Saturday night. But I saw something, you know how I'm going to say this on here because there's a lot of Facebook groups of CFL fans, and for some reason a Tiger Cats one came up today.
Ooh.
And it was a girl asking if there was a designated Tiger Cat fan section.
Yes. Okay. I know exactly. I know which one you're talking about, because I answered that question, and I told them, like, listen, I'm like, if you want to support the team, I'm like, our bench is from this section to this section. Now, keep in mind, the last time you looked at the Ticketmaster doesn't always release every seat.
No.
So just because they're not released on there, always call the Argo ticket reps to buy the seats. Because I've noticed that for our stadium, the seats in front of me are never bought, but yet again, they're never on.
Because I'm looking right now. So like I'm looking right now. I pull up the map. There is a lot. There's only a few sections of that bright blue. There's a lot of gray and light blue on the seating chart to where I'm really hoping that with, and I know for Hamilton fans it kind of sucks there's no tailgate, but think about it. If you're from Hamilton,
that's what a lot of people were pissed off about once they announced the theme nights.
The way I look at it for a Hamilton fan is, hey, you get to go to the game, you get to go to the CNE instead of, just going to the CNE. You get to go to the CNE and see your football team on top of it. So I feel like it's a win-win in that sense. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the fact that this game is the opening weekend. I'd rather it be the second weekend of the CNE, where it's, because I feel like Saturday night, once you leave the game, that midway is probably going to be chaotic unless.
Oh, speaking of which.
Yes.
Did you not hear everything that's going on Saturday?
Oh, I did, because guess what? Friday night even too. There's Friday night. There's no Argo game, but Friday night I will be at Friday Night SmackDown, which is at Scotiabank Arena. I know this. Let's see if I can get this right. There's a concert at the amphitheater. There's the Argo game.
I don't know. I've never heard of the person at the amphitheater, so I can take your word for it. Okay.
I know it's like Hugel or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Ed Sheeran is at Rogers Center.
Yes.
There's someone at Scotiabank Arena.
Esake?
Yeah, okay. I don't. That's the same thing. I don't know. Like I said, I know WWE is there on Friday night, and then I know Saturday night there's something else. On Sunday, not Sunday, at Rogers Stadium, even though that's all the way up in Downsview, there's BTS.
Yeah. And then there's CNE Band Shell.
So the band shell is like a little concert. It's like a small concert venue that's like west of where BMO Field is, and they have acts every night there, and it's lights performing.
Well, there's one there too.
Yeah, there's that there too. So you're gonna have probably 10 to 15 to 20,000 people roaming the CNE grounds, plus another maybe. I would probably say so. The home opener attendance number was 16,160.
Yeah.
I feel like you're probably going to have at least 17 to 20 Saturday night. I feel like right now. I don't want to thinking it's 20 because every time I think, oh, they could get 20, it's always like 14 to 16. I feel like 17 to 20 is probably what they're going to have. So think about it. There's like 30,000 people there. The one thing I would recommend, though, and I'm not ready for this, is the GO Transit is going to be bad coming home from that game.
Oh, I'm already preparing myself that like I'm staying there. Game's over at like 9:30. I'm probably not leaving there till like 11 midnight.
Yeah, because the midway closes at midnight. It's my worry more with the train, honestly, isn't even the CNE crowd. It's the people at that Ed Sheeran concert and then that other concert that's at Scotiabank Arena. Those are my worries because they get on at Union. And if I had to guess, both those shows will probably be done around like 10:45, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so I don't plan on leaving like right after the game.
Same. I'll probably walk around for a bit, get my thing done, and then go. And then I have to either get my article done when I get home, when I get back. Well, actually, I'm staying at my parents in Mississauga on Saturday because I haven't said too much of this yet. If people follow me on Instagram, you have seen this, but I am officially a dog dad now. So that's why so also for the folks out there, Rick and I were supposed to record at 8:45, but I had to push it back because the little girl the little girl had to go pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, my little girl had to pee, so.
Since you're bringing out news, I'll bring out some news. So for those that don't know, I'm more of Griff does, a beat writer for 3 Down Nation for the Argos. I'm doing a radio content for the Hamilton Hammers this upcoming season. And I was just asked on the weekend to be covering McMaster, so I am going to be doing some McMaster football this weekend.
Yes.
Or in the next couple of weeks. So that will be fun.
Do you want to know that is awesome? But do you want to know a fun McMaster Toronto Argonaut crossover?
Yes, I know. Is it the whole uh J Goss?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the PA announcer for
Yeah, he
McMaster.
is.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I find that funny. And then you'll be at Yates, which it's
So the radio station that actually sponsored my channel,
yes.
that actually caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. They actually told me that they will get me a media pass for the Yates Cup, depending on where it is. So, like, I'll probably still go to it. It'll probably be like a night over type thing,
Gotcha.
depending on where it is.
Also, I'm just looking up right now the Cats injury report for Saturday. Yeah, it's not as bad as thing. Yeah,
That's what I was saying. It's not too shabby.
yeah. The one thing I will look at for that game more than anything, because I don't know if it's not I haven't paid enough attention to Tabby stats, but I feel like has Kenny Lawler not had like a Kenny Lawler game yet? Like you know how there was that one game in Toronto last year where he was like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I will say this: Kenny Lawler, ever since Bo's gone down, Kenny Lawler has not been the same.
I feel the same way with it. I know he had a bad game Saturday, but once DeMonte Coxie is without Chad Kelly, I feel
the most yards he's had in a game is 81. And that was week 3 versus BC. And then Bo went down the week 5.
Because I think week 4 they were on the bye.
Yes.
That's crazy. The fact that they're bye
from week 6.
Yes.
From week 6 to last week, anywhere from 22 to 48 yards.
Ew.
But keep in mind, we also have Keandre Smith. We also have Curly Gittens Jr., who is the perfect person for my plan. When I said when we first signed him, he's the perfect second and medium receiver out there. I find. When I say second and medium, I'm talking like 3, 4, 5 yards. And then Wheatfall decided to come out of nowhere. I don't know where he came from.
And it's kind of like the Toronto Argonauts with Tyler Conman, you know?
I mean, we saw Bridges sitting in the back corner healthy and waiting to go too.
It's like Jake
Just
Kerslow.
like you guys. Yeah.
Although Jake Kerslow did play Saturday, but I think that was more like, hey, you know, Mackay's out. We need Herslow back. Because Herslow was waiting. I think it was more just like about taking the right opportunity. But I'm still going to say this with this game on Saturday. I really think that I don't know how to feel about this game just yet, but I really feel like this could be a Wynton McManus game just because you know he's going to want to get one back over his former team at home.
Yes. So my problem with the whole Kenny Lawler thing is Kenny Lawler has gotten the passes.
Yes.
He's just not catching them. Like you saw the whole SAS game Saturday. Or bits and pieces.
Yes.
Okay. That end zone catch he should have had. Like there's no ands, ifs, or buts that he should not have that catch. The other short catch, he should have had that too. It's just like you'll see him like 3 and 7, 3 and 9, 3 and 7, 2 and 5, 5 and 11, 5 and 9. Like he's getting the catches. It's just he's not catching them.
I think there's just some players where it's like, I know how you feel, where you're waiting for them to have their moment to have that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just tough because I feel like with Hamilton, anyone can explode at any time. I will say I feel like Keandre Smith could be an X factor in this one just because I feel like he always seems to perform. He always seems to have decent games against the Argonauts.
True.
I think last year on Labor Day, he had over 100 yards.
I think so because the first game for Kenny Lawler in Toronto, he had like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was like 3 touchdowns. It was stupid. It was like 3 touchdowns. I'm gonna pull up because I'm gonna pull up the CFL database that I have access to because I want to like know this just for personal reference. but I believe that that was like Kenny Lawler. I believe it was all 3 games they played against Toronto last year. He was over 100 yards, but I know that first one at like in July was like it was like 207 yards and like
So the one week 5, he had 207 yards and 3 touchdowns.
yes.
And then 13 would have been Labor Day. He went 9 for 9, 123 and 2 touchdowns. And then late in October, he had something else there.
So Keandre. Oh, so here's the thing: Keandre Smith on Labor Day last year, 7 receptions, 171 yards, no touchdowns. But Shamar Bridges, 2 receptions, 36 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, Kenny Lawler, 9, 123 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what Kenny Lawler needs, is just that game against you guys.
That's kind of it, That's kind of it. Like, because the thing with the Toronto secondary is they either make the big play or they let the big play up. There's like no like in between. They have to find like that fine line between the two.
See, now that I've seen some game film on Harrison Frost will like throw like the short to medium passes. He won't go deep, but then Trey Ford will go deep.
But I think Trey Ford, I just want to see if they learn from last time when Trey Ford ran for, I believe it was like 120 yards on the ground, to where it's just like, we need to see what happens there if Toronto can contain him again. Because Toronto, like the first time they played Vernon Adams when he went cuckoo to the last time he played Vernon Adams, they made a lot of the right adjustments to get that in check. So I'm interested to see if that happens on Saturday as well. But I have been waiting to say something, and I'm going to bring up the ticker. I want to say something. It's nothing bad. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
But
I hate when people do that. It's like, I got something to say. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh. For weeks and months on end, I have buried this team. For weeks and weeks and weeks, I have said that this team's the butt end of the joke.
Oh.
I'm finally ready to do it because this would be peak CFL. I think the Ottawa Red Blacks win in Montreal Thursday night.
Why is that?
It would be, think about it. It would be so stupid. It's just like such a stupid CFL logic thing where it's like they're a 12.5-point underdog. Everyone's assuming, Montreal's on the bye week. They're going to come in and take care of business. But like for a team like Ottawa, they got to get one eventually. And like, how funny would it be for them to beat the team that no one expects them to beat? Like, think about it. Like I know they play BC. I think they have BC and then they have Toronto. Those are games that, like, you can see them winning. And then Calgary. Those are games you can see them win. I believe they have a home and home with Calgary. Those are games where it's like, okay, they could. But think about how funny it would be for the Montreal Alouettes and for Davis Alexander's first loss at Percival Molson to be against the team that you should beat no problem. I'm throwing shit at the wall and I'm hoping it sticks. But look, crazier things have happened. This league is so crazy that it would just be this like, it would be so dumb that it would be perfect, With that being said, there's a very good chance to get their teeth kicked in, but it would just be so peak CFL for the Alouettes to lose this game.
I see where for me, and I'm just going to go back to Saturday's game for a minute. See, my interesting thought is, what version of Chad Kelly are we going to get? Are we going to get the good Chad Kelly? Or are we going to get the Chad Kelly against Calgary where he threw 4 interceptions? Or are you going to get the Chad Kelly versus Edmonton? Because I can tell you, if it's the Chad Kelly versus Calgary, Hamilton's not letting you give up those interceptions without getting points against you.
So, like, I'll get into that in a second, but it's just the reason why I have the ticker up is because it's like I was trying to go in order, but I'll get into that in a second. But I don't have much to say about Thursday and Friday besides my crazy. I'm finally ready to pick. I'm ready to do it. What do you think about that game? Do you think I'm crazy, or do you think that?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. I've noticed this, and I don't know if it's just me. Have you noticed that ever since Eugene Lewis was released by Ottawa, other people are getting more shots of making a name for themselves?
The one thing I've come to learn about Ryan Dinwiddie is if he feels like you're a problem in the room, he will get rid of you. If you're causing some sort of problems, so I completely buy that.
No, before Eugene Lewis was there, it was only like Eugene Lewis and Justin Hardy. Now that Eugene Lewis is gone, now you have Hardy, you have Pimpleton, you have White. I haven't seen much of Marner, but you still have Hardy.
They also have Eberhardt.
No, that's what I meant. Like Eberhardt, is almost getting like 100 a season, or not a season, but like almost a game. Like
They just need to learn how to run the damn ball.
Listen, when I seen or Ottawa sign him for 200, no, I thought it was 230. It's about 175, 180.
No, 240 was someone else that was 240. That's AJ Allen number. Excuse me.
Yeah. It's about 175, 182, if I remember the 3 Down Nation numbers correctly. He is the worst money spent I've ever seen. Yeah. He basically got that money because of Hamilton, and I don't care what anyone says. It's the absolute truth. The only reason why he got that money is because of how well our offensive line was when he was in Hamilton.
That's the thing right now with how do I say this?
With Edmonton?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, but then even too, like Greg Bell, like I think you guys kind of saw the writing on the wall for him and saw that like what a good running back can do. What a good running back can do in front of a great offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Greg Bell is he can't block if his life depended on him.
Yeah.
And that's why Hamilton got rid of him, because that and they didn't want to pay him the money.
But so going back to Thursday quickly though, do you think Montreal or do you think Ottawa? Are you riding Ottawa with Griff?
You know what? I've always done well in fantasy. I'm gonna have to go with Montreal.
That's all good. It's all good. I will say this though. Friday night's game, Edmonton, Winnipeg. I want to say Edmonton, but I want to say Winnipeg. You know, it's like I could see it going either way.
I'm gonna say Edmonton because I do not have faith in Tommy Kendall's offense for number one.
Yeah.
Number two, after last week's game, you cannot tell me that you have any faith in Winnipeg's offensive line.
Yeah. You know what? Like I can see either team winning, but I am gonna go with the Elks on this one. I'm gonna go with the Elks. And then for Saturday night, so you brought it up earlier with Chad Kelly. I'll say this. I completely agreed. I had said that if here's my take with that game.
Okay.
Vernon Adams plays just a little bit better than he did. Calgary whoops their ass. That's just how it goes. It's just they couldn't finish. You also had to what was the team? You had Vernon Adams Jr. not playing well, and then like stuff like the 3rd and 1 run call, the 3rd and 1 when they ran it. I'm just like, why are you handing it off? That's a quarterback sneak situation right there. Like that was just a weird, bad game for the Stamps because they made them pay. Like even the pick 6 was egregious that he threw to, I believe it was Adrian Green. That was just a characteristically bad night for the Stamps, and the Argos kind of just took advantage. That was also too the Argonauts for both sides of the line, defensive and offensive. That was their best games of the season as a unit as a whole. As for what I'll say this about Chad on Saturday, I'll say this. He played. I know he threw 4 picks against Calgary. He played the worst version of him was what we saw against Edmonton compared to the version that we saw against Calgary. I think Calgary was just him being a gunslinger, him being him. Meanwhile, the version against Edmonton, I feel like he has to find that balance between gunslinger and check down Charlie because he was being a bit of a check down Charlie on Saturday after he had told us after Calgary, I don't want to be a check down Charlie. So I think Chad's got to find that fine line between check down. He's got to find that fine line between taking the risks, but then also being, I don't even want to say check down, Charlie, playing it conservative. But I do have an X factor for you for this game. Because Sean
Okay.
Lemon has been playing amazing for the Toronto Argonauts defensive line. That defensive line for the Argonauts has gotten a lot better since he has gotten there. Ralph Hawley's been playing good. You have as well Teo, I'm probably butchering his name, but like you have those guys like that where it's the D line's playing great for Toronto. It's just the rest of the unit's got to come together because if any chance that Cody Fajardo had to get time, Cody Fajardo made the Toronto Argonauts pay. Trey Ford can look at that, especially a guy who, you know what, shared a quarterback room last year with Cody Fajardo and see if I play half as good as Cody did, we can beat this team. But I will say this, though. This seems more like, and you're probably going to hate me for this, this seems more of like a letdown spot for the Ticats than it does for the Argos. Because if the Argos lose this game, you know what? It's just, this is Argos team we come to see. Ed Hamilton loses this game, you're just going to start saying, hey, was last week just a blip on the radar screen? So I do think Toronto does get the win here, but I wouldn't be shocked. The number's only at 4.5 right now. If it stays at 4.5, I would take the Elks on the spread. If you also read the Three Down
Against
Nation
Winnipeg,
picks,
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Actually,
So Edmonton is -5.5.
yeah.
Toronto is -4.5.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
I'm gonna take Toronto to win, but if it's
Yeah.
at that number, I'm taking Hamilton to cover the number.
Oh, the 3.5. Okay.
Meanwhile, the 4.5. Meanwhile, with Edmonton, I'm taking them to win and cover the 5.5. I think Edmonton can win by a touchdown.
Yeah. The only thing that I've noticed, I'm sure you've noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Miller just needs to make his challenges based off of what his staff sees, not what Chad Kelly sees.
Yeah, because every time it's a staff challenge, they've been successful, but also through the command center, unlike Ryan Dinwiddie, he doesn't hate Mike Miller.
No, it's just like every time I see Chad Kelly go over and say challenge it, it's just like, why? Like, there's no challenge for that.
Yeah. But I know we're in the bit of the sports lull right now, but I have some breaking news for you.
Ooh.
Did you know that the Toronto Blue Jays just defeated the Tampa Bay Rays by a score of 10-5
No, I did not.
and are back in a playoff spot?
Oh,
They won't.
interesting.
Yes, because certain online Twitter trolls were telling us that it was a devastating loss to the Yankees after taking 2 of 3 against them.
So, interesting.
Very interesting. We're going to end with Sunday night, and I have a take on this game.
Uh-oh.
I think Sask wins. I know BC looked really good last week against Calgary. I think this is the definition of a get-right game for the Riders. I think the Riders go into BC and they handle their business. I don't know if it's I'm not saying they're going to blow them out, but I just think this is kind of that, last week was an uncharacteristically bad week for Trevor Harris. I know they are banged up at receiver. I just think for right now, from what I've seen from both teams, BC also doesn't have that signature win yet that Sask has already. Sask is beaten. They went into Edmonton and they took care of them. And they're also the Grey Cup champions. And plus, two, it seems like whenever these teams get together, Sask has just found a way to beat them.
The only thing is, can Sask turn it around after losing to us last week?
That's why I'm calling this a get-right game for the Riders. It was a game where they can kind of show the world, hey, what we did last week wasn't us. That was an uncharacteristic loss. Kind of like how Edmonton went from getting their doors blown off at Percival Molson to blowing the doors off the Toronto Argonauts a week later.
Sure.
That's the mark of a good team. If you can go from having a down week to having a good week, it only plays in the favor of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and I think that's what they do here.
True.
Yes, very true. But before we kind of put a bow on this bad boy, I have a thing I wanted to ask you.
Uh-oh.
I saw your friends Saturday at a tailgate announce that they're partaking once again in the 65K Labor Day walk.
Yes.
Are you doing that again?
So there's been some behind-the-scenes stuff that has happened with family. So I will not take part in it this year.
But if you do want to donate, I believe it's going to the Alberta Cancer Center.
Correct.
Yes, because I believe it's every. If you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they always just do it specifically
Whoever
for the
hosts
province.
whoever hosts the Grey Cup that year.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
Yes. So right now I know it's I believe Dallas and
it's
Connor.
Dallas, Connor, Nick. There's Catherine, a friend of theirs from the tailgate.
Mm-hmm.
It was usually me, and then that was it. But without me going this year, because I have some OUA stuff that weekend, and then I have some family stuff that happened behind the scenes that I gotta take care of. It just, you know what? There's more important, like nothing. Like I'll still donate and do that, but I mean the stuff that I have to deal with,
Yes.
family wise, is I'm not trying to be a butthead, but it's more important.
Family comes first, no matter what the circumstances. Family will always come first.
So,
Family always comes first.
but
So before we wrap up,
yes, sir.
do you think that even if Hamilton say were to miss the playoffs, do you think there's going to be any change made, or do you think it's kind of that like write off, like hey, we wash our hands and walk away with it because Bo got hurt because there's some unfortunate
So
circumstances?
here's how I look at it is, yeah, I know contracts aren't guaranteed, yada yada yada. So Bo signed on for next year.
Yes.
Ford signed on for next year. All of our receivers are signed on for next year, except for I think Bridges and Myron Mitchell. Everyone else is signed on for next year. Peters is back. Stavros is back. McManus, I'm sure if McManus is in good shape, he'll be back next year. Like a lot of our team is either signed for this year or they will be back next year. You know what? I could see if we don't turn things around this year, people can call me a homer all they want. I can see us doing some interesting stuff. Like how we started this year.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Bo doesn't get injured next year, I think we can do like a Montreal type thing next year. If we can get on that hot streak, again, people can call me homers all they want, but if Bo can play like he did at the beginning of this year for a vast majority of next year, then I think we'll be good.
Oh, okay. I more or less just wanted to ask about that just because I was curious because I feel like I don't like with the world of the CFL. There's only, I would say, I don't think there's any coach at risk of seriously losing their job because if you look at all the coaches, like if you just go like let's go east to west. Jason Moss, no way, not happening.
No.
Mike Miller, I think he'll even if they miss the playoffs, I think he's done enough considering the circumstances to where it's not a one and done. I think, and also the guys like him in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Milanovic, like I said, it's a bit of a wash
because they know what he can do
yeah.
when he has like a top caliber quarterback.
You give a race car driver a race car, they're going to go fast. You give Scott Milanovic a capable gunslinging quarterback, you know what he's going to do with him.
Yeah.
Winnipeg, I think, is more. I think Winnipeg, it's kind of like O'Shea's at the point where he can just like wait and just walk away on his own. Where there's like I don't think they're ever going to get rid of him.
So here's the thing with O'Shea. So roster wise, there will be a lot of changeover next year.
I think there's a lot of vets that go. There's going to be a lot of the team's going to look. I think they'll still be competitive, but they're going to look different.
I honestly believe if Winnipeg misses, you will see O'Shea retire.
I can see a world where they kind of go in that not rebuild direction, but like retool, but maybe have like a down year for 27 or 28 maybe. But we'll see. Corey Mace, nothing need to say there. Mark Killam, nothing to say there. Dave Dickinson, I think it's kind of the same
I can see that.
Dave Dickinson's kind of the same sort of thing as Mike O'Shea in a way, but I feel like that's more he would move upstairs and they would bring in someone or they would just promote within to get a new coach.
Now so here's the thing that I see with Ottawa is you're not going to fire him because there's too much money invested in operations cap.
No, but you potentially
He would
have
lose
him
one of
remove
his
his GM.
jobs.
You have him potentially remove the GM title, and you bring in someone who does the GM work. That's not also.
I will say this: whatever Ottawa does in the future, they need to get rid of Sean Burke. Sean Burke has to go.
I just don't see there's a world where he survives, after this year. It's just because if you look at, I know Oseg just fired that other guy. Yes, the other guy left Oseg. I don't remember his name.
The president stepped down. Yes.
Yeah, the president stepped down.
Yes.
You can't really tell Oseg that, hey, Sean Burke had this masterful idea to somehow keep his job of, hey, I'm going to become president of football ops. POFO, let's call it, president of football operations. We're gonna go swinging for the fences. We're gonna get Ryan Dinwiddie, accomplished coach. He's gonna be the GM. He's gonna be the coach. We're gonna turn it around. And you've laid a goose egg. Like, there has to be some sort of change to where I don't know how Sean can go to the board and say, I'm good to stay on because of this. He's got to have a Hail Mary to save his job at this point. Because they can either say, it's year one, but then when you're year one and you're just a straight up bad football team, you're not benefiting anyone.
Here's the thing. Ever since he first came in, like his first good year, okay, they were 9-8-1 their first year that he came in. Ever since then, they've had losing seasons.
Yeah.
And this is the worst one.
I'll just never forget 24 when they played Toronto in the playoffs. It's, hey, the Red Blacks are back. Hey, the Red Blacks this. Hey, the Red Blacks that. To where it's just they're taking a step. They're supposed to take They're supposed to take these steps forward. They've taken 20 steps back. I know I picked them to win, but I did the picking them to win because
eventually they have to win one.
Because they have to eventually win. Like I said, it's goofy. But for everything else, I don't know what else to do save for them going forward, because next year in a year when 90% of your teams are going to make the playoffs, if you're that 10% that miss, I don't know. It's just, next year is a massive, massive year for the Red Blacks.
Yeah.
So we'll ultimately have to wait and see what happens. But for now, it's just on to week 12. If you see me come on high and mighty next week, it's because the Ottawa Red Blacks won. Or I look like a doofus, but hey.
What? I will say, though, your picks the last couple of weeks have just like...
Every video pick that I made in August has been 2-2. Like last week, I get BC right, I get Winnipeg right, and then Toronto skunks it, Sask skunks it. I've been like, it's more like roller coaster. I'm like more roller coaster where like right now I was going, and I'm just like doing that slow drop over the edge, but I need to pick it right back up, and that's where we start this week with CFL picks, folks. It starts Thursday night in La Belle Province, where the Red Blacks get that win. The Red Blacks get their first win.
Let's speak the truth here. Griff's just waiting for that other sport to start up.
No. It's no. Both are, how do I say this? Both are it's wonderful because it's just more football. It's the Seinfeld reference. More anything, more everything, I get more football. I say this now. I get football 9 months out of the year. Basically from the middle of May till Valentine's Day, I get football.
Oh, trust me. October and November are going to suck for me. That's only because I got to cover 3 sports at once.
I get it.
Work a full-time job.
Hey, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm in the exact same boat as you. I have a job outside of football. Football doesn't pay the bills, but maybe one day it will. Who knows?
Yes. Hopefully one day it will.
Folks, it has been a blast as always. The links for the CFL Fans Fight Cancer stuff will be in the bio. But for Rick Boccaccio, I'm Griff
Yes.
Bordegon. Couple of good old Italian boys chopping it up here on YWC Football Talks 447th episode. Enjoy Week 12 of the CFL season. And Mr. Boccaccio, I will see you Saturday night at BMO Field.
Yes, sir.